You're watching live high school sports on Optimum Channel.
It's been over 40 years since the Hudson Catholic Hawks have had a season like this. Today they find themselves in the state championship game against a storied program with great tradition of winning championship titles. News 12 Varsity presents the NJSIAA Boys Basketball Tournament. Today from the Pine Belt Arena in Toms River, it's the 2017 non-public B state championship game as the Celtics of the Patrick School, ranked #1 in our tri-state poll, take on the 8th-ranked Hawks of Hudson Catholic. Hello again, everyone. I'm Lou Brogno, alongside on the call, Jimmy Cavallo. Jimmy, so many storylines for this non-public B championship game here today. Of course, the Patrick School hasn't won the championship since 2009, when they weren't even the Patrick School. They were St. Patrick's back then. And Hudson Catholic hasn't even been in this championship game since 1976. And oh, by the way, that's the last time they won it.
And what a moment for the Hudson Hawks and their nation on Wednesday night. They got over the hump. Those were the headlines in the Jersey Journal newspaper. Hawks get over the hump, beating the legendary coach, the Hall of Famer, Bob Hurley in St. Anthony's. They find themselves here. And Lou, it feels like the same void. They haven't won it in 40 years, but also the Patrick School. They haven't won it since 2009. That has a lot to do with the rise of Roselle Catholic and St. Anthony's, but 7 seasons since the Patrick School, the Celtics haven't won, seems like a long time.
Division I talent all over the court for both teams here today. And you're talking about Division I players, you have to lead with Kentucky-bound Nick Richards for the Patrick School, coming off a 28-point performance against Roselle Catholic.
And there it is, the ultimate honor for a basketball player, McDonald's All-American. Nick Richards was born in Kingston, Jamaica. He picked up the game late. He's only been playing 5 years. He grew up playing volleyball. You see the rise there? Boy, he looks good for a late bloomer, doesn't he, Lou? The guy can do it all, affects everything you do on offense. He's now scoring on the offensive side of the court for the Patrick School. He has raised his game now in the later month of February and into March now, averaging over 20 a game in the postseason. He is a handful.
On the other side, Hudson Catholic features one of the most electrifying guards in the tri-state area. Junior Javon Quinterly comes off a 25-point performance in their championship win.
Lou, Villanova and Jay Wright won the title last spring, and guess who was one of their first recruits this summer? That man right there, Javon Quinterly. He was a rising junior. What a compliment that the Cats want him, and it's because he can do it all. Flashy guard, run your offense. Hey, when that game against St. Anthony's hung in the balance in the third quarter, Jay came. Quinterly was attacking the rim in that third quarter. Hudson Catholic would never look back. They had won the North title, and they had gotten to Super Saturday at the Pine Belt Arena.
This promises to be an electrifying, exciting, non-public B championship game. The Patrick School taking on Hudson Catholic. It's coming up next here on News 12 Varsity.
Remember this?
Yes.
Another bad report card.
I hate school.
We grounded you, got tutors.
Think I want to fail?
That was us 20 years ago. Do you remember the fights?
Yes. Then we went to Huntington.
Things really turned around for you. Now your son really needs it.
You're right, Mom.
When your child is struggling in school, no matter what his or her age, Huntington can help. Get help now. Call 1-800-CAN-LEARN and save $100. 1-800-CAN-LEARN.
On March 12th, starting at 11 a.m., watch the best of Long Island high school basketball battle for the right to be called champions. Live on Channel 14. This doubleheader begins at 11 a.m. with the Class A Finals, followed by the Class AA Finals at 1:30 p.m. Watch the best of Long Island high school basketball live on the big screen on on Optimum Channel, Channel 14.
Welcome back to the Pine Belt Arena as the Patrick School and Hudson Catholic get ready to battle for the non-public B state championship. Lou Brogno along with Jimmy Cavallo. And, of course, the third member of our broadcast team is Amanda Puglisi, and she is courtside. Amanda.
Well, you know, Jimmy and Lou, for players like Jameer Harris and Marcus McCleary, these guys have really come full circle. And if you ask Coach Chavanese, he remembers 4 years ago their first varsity start. They played on the road at Roselle Catholic, and they lost by 33 points. So when you talk to this coaching staff, they say it's really remarkable the journey that they've been on. And to have these two guys to be leading this team here. They beat Roselle Catholic, don't forget, just a few days ago. So to see them now in the championship game representing the Patrick School, it really has been a remarkable journey. Now let's talk about their opponents. The turning point for this season really was that overtime loss to Snyder for Hudson Catholic, January 26th. And Coach Marinelli says that was a game where they were just outworked, outplayed, and out-hustled. And it really was a wake-up call for them because, guys, don't forget, they have not lost a game since that loss on January 26th. And here we are now in the non-public B final.
Yeah, man, I think they won 12 in a row since that Snyder loss. And I mean, come on. The last time Hudson Catholic lost to a public school in Hudson County, I think Nick Marinello was in the 4th grade, Lou, but he's got quite a contingent of starters for this game. Of course, when you think about Hudson Catholic, you think about the big three, Quinterly, King, and Mohammed. But Shaq Dezzoni and Danny Rod, the super sophomore, have been outstanding complementary pieces to this trifecta of Quinterly, King, and Mohammed, who really lead this team. They put up 60 points combined with regularity, and there he is, Nick Marinelli, flat out one of the best coaches in the tri-state. Remember, he took Bloomfield Tech to 2 TOC championships, won state titles 4 times at a public school, now comes over to Hudson Catholic. He's won 5 Hudson County titles in a row, and now Nick Marinello looks for the ultimate prize, the non-public B title. And on the other side, of course, for the world-famous Patrick School, the Celtics, McClary, Walker, Harris, Dawes, and the McDonald's All-American, Nick Richards. This is just the beginning for this lineup, Lou. The one thing about this game is if the Patrick School can make depth the key figure in this game, Coach Chris Gervais in his 7th year at the helm with Mike Rice right next to him right there, that will be a big factor. Their depth, okay, is very prominent when you look at these 2 rosters coming into this championship game.
All right, Patrick School in the black uniforms trimmed with green, and of course the green letters and numerals, and Hudson Catholic in their white uniforms with white numerals on their white jerseys. But the Patrick School wins the tap, and the Celtics have the basketball. They'll bring it up as Jordan Walker flips it into Nick Richards, and a quick whistle and a quick foul. That didn't take long. The foul on Hudson Catholic, their first team foul.
These 2 teams squared off in the 2nd game of the year. It's all the way back in 2016, Lou, before Christmas in the City of Palms Classic in Florida. And the Patrick School close game. Hudson Catholic led by a bucket at the half. The Patrick School took control in the second half and won by a dozen. But the Hawks have really grown up in the last month of the season since Amanda chronicled that loss to Snyder.
Nick Richards with a beautiful turnaround jumper, and he gives the Celtics an early 2-0 lead. We're just underway in the non-public B championship game.
And you saw an example of the growth of Nick Richards' game right there. It's that 15-foot jump shot. Hey, let's face it, Louie, if you're 6'11" and you can make the 15-footer with any regularity, with the kind of looks you're going to get at the basket, you are in business. And Coach Gervais, Coach Rice, Coach Decker, they've worked tirelessly on building the game of the McDonald's All-American Richards.
Here's McClary outside for the Celtics. He dribbles in where he's picked up there by Javon Quinterly. Here's a jump shot in the corner. Good. Nothing but net for Jameer Harris as he buries the 3.
Harris, Minnesota bound. What a leader he has been from the word go. Son of a legend His dad, Laquan Harris, an all-timer for Elizabeth High and Benny Candolino back in the day. They won the 1990 Tournament of Champions. And Harris was a big factor.
And the Celtics running down the court. Offensive rebound put up and in by McClary. It's a great start for the Celtics as the Patrick School has a 5-0 lead. Actually 7-0 now, Celtics, with 6:25 remaining here in the first quarter.
Talk so much about Richards at 6'11". That was Bula Zhang right there at 6'10".
Here comes the Patrick School quickly up court again. Three-point shot is good. And a quick timeout called by Hudson Catholic. Jameer Harris buries the three. It's a 10-0 run to start the game.
That is just what Hudson Catholic did not need in this game. Jameer Harris coming out like that. And Chris Trevanis, he knows, listen, let's face it, he's got the best horse in the race in the Tri-State this year. And your hopes as a coach is that all the hard work and preparation come to fruition on game day. 10-0 run. And you see Jameer Harris, number 4 right there. 2 early threes. Lou, arguably their best win in the Tri-State this year was against Archbishop Malloy. At the time, Malloy was our number 1 team. Jameer Harris had 5 threes in that game. Great spot-up shooter. There isn't anything this 6'2" dynamic guard bound for Minnesota cannot do. He has been the leader's leader for the Patrick School this year. Great young man on and off the court.
A 1,000-point-plus scorer for the Patrick School, and Hudson Catholic needs to get their offense cranked up here. Luther Muhammad flips it over to Quinterly. Quinterly on the left wing. Being played there by Jordan Walker. Jump shot from the top of the key is good. Just what the Hawks needed. Luther Muhammad buries it, a 3-year starter, averaging 16 points a game. And the Hawks are on the board. It's 10-2.
Beautiful player. Luther, hustler, muscler, attacks both ends of the floor, and he can handle it. Here he comes, Luther.
Quickly across the midcourt line. A long 3 off the back rim doesn't go. And the rebound pulled down by Richards.
Steph Curry-esque distance right there on that one.
Walker dribbles in the paint, tries to dish it inside to Nick Richards, but it goes off of Hudson Catholic, and the Celtics will inbound.
Jordan Walker, the point guard for this team. It's like having keys to a Ferrari if you're Jordan Walker with this kind of talent.
Richards takes the jump shot outside, and looks like the call goes against Hudson Catholic.
Yeah, great position on the baseline by Bula Zhang, number 21. And he's heading off to Tulane, the 6'10 senior, along with Gweg Koka. And this is the battle right now for Hudson Catholic. Rebounding along the baseline. Hey, you got to put a body on these guys or they will own the glass all day. That'll be a travel. Just trying to come out too early was Lewis King.
Lewis King, an exciting player for Hudson Catholic. Had 20 points in the win over St. Anthony. Transfer from Pope John. They'd like to get him going. Hawks are down by 8 early on.
Great night of shooting by Lewis King at the rack. Up against the Friars. Made a bunch of turnaround tough jumpers. He got everybody's attention.
Bula Zhang inside, and he took an extra step. So traveling the call on the Celtics.
Zhang has been so impressive this year. A lot of times people come into the gym looking to see Nick Richards, and they see Zhang doing his thing.
Here's Quinterly. He gives it to Muhammad, top of the key. Outside Quinterly, pops a 3, got it. Javon Quinterly.
Lou, he'll be a 4-year starter before it's over. Just a junior, already over 1,000 points. Unlimited game for Quinterly.
Bula Zhang tries to return the favor. He takes a 3, doesn't go.
You'll take that if you're Hudson Catholic.
Quinterly tracks down the rebound, dribbles in, puts the brakes on, and gets it back. 4:20 remaining here in the first quarter. It's a 5-point Patrick School lead. They're up 10-5. Muhammad in between the circles. Good look inside. Good ball movement by Hudson Catholic. But Patrick School recovers on defense. Quinterly drives in, draws two defenders, takes the baseline, flips it outside. Lewis King, the jumper, got it. Three-point shot, Lewis King.
Wouldn't everybody like to have a 6'8" forward with that kind of soft touch? And don't look now, after a 10-0 run by the Celtics to start the game, it's an 8-0 run by the Hawks. So talented, long, athletic, confident shooter. That's why Seton Hall, Freddie Hill is in the building today. They've offered Indiana, Louisville, Rutgers, Maryland, Syracuse, just to name a few. Here come the Hawks.
And the steal by Dezzoni. He draws the foul. He'll go to the line. A chance to tie the game.
Shaq Dezzoni might not get the headlines, Lou, of the big three, but the kid sticks his nose in there at 6'5", the junior. No fear by Dezzoni. Physical presence. You know, he draws the assignment of guarding a big guy or a small guy. Bright student in the classroom, getting interest from Brown and Columbia. How much does that say about his classroom work?
Well, he misses the first. He'll get another. It's 10-8. The Celtics with a 2-point lead. And Dezzoni trying to cut the deficit to 1. The throw is no good. Misses both. So Jordan Walker sends it up ahead. Lewis King picks it off. Muhammad pops a three. Got it. Oh. Luther Muhammad drills a three. And just like that, Hudson Catholic takes the lead.
He's one of New Jersey's, hey, forget about it. He's one of the Tri-State's best gamers, Luther Muhammad. He has a relentless motor, plays both ends, and right away in transition, also a soft touch. Listen, we know you're kind of defined in this game of basketball at the highest level by offers. Let me give you a few for Luther, Lou. Notre Dame, Xavier, Seton Hall, Butler, Cincinnati, of course, in the mix. St. John's, great stuff. So Nick Marinello's club, what an answer behind Luther and company. You remember his brother at Don Bosco Prep? Al-Quadin Mohammed went down to Miami. Guess where Al-Quadin was last week? He was at the NFL Draft Combine. He will be drafted into the National Football League. So Nick Marinello, gotta love the fact that his team responded, Lou. They took a punch to the gut by the Patrick School to open this game, and they returned the favor.
Jordan Walker stops, pops, it doesn't go. And the rebound pulled down by Danny Rodriguez. And here come the Hawks again. Quinterly way out top. He flips it over to Muhammad. The remarkable thing about Muhammad, this is a guy who likes to shoot from outside. He's at 52% from the field this year. Pass inside, comes back out, stolen by the Celtics. Up ahead, McClary puts it up and in.
Just great work. Jameer Harris got his head on a swivel. He sees McClary. McClary, he's going to go to college right down the road from us, Lou. Monmouth. What are we down here at exit 80, Toms River, New Jersey? Monmouth, right down the street. King Rice, what an outstanding program he has built. That's a great place to play college basketball for Captain Marcus McClary.
He goes from one Hawks team to another.
Oh, boy, Lou.
Monmouth's excited to get him in the lineup. Double team in the corner, comes back outside. Dezzoni dishes inside. King, what a move by Lewis King, but what a block underneath by Richards. King gets it back and scores.
Memo to these 10 guys, they're letting them play in the non-public B final. A lot of contact there, but give credit to King. He kept fighting through it.
Hudson Catholic by one, 13-12. A minute 50 remaining first quarter. It's been an exciting first period of play in this non-public B championship game. And a whistle, foul called on the Hawks.
Shaq Dezzoni is saying, what are you kidding me? My boy King was getting banged around underneath. You can't call that, but it was over the back, the right call to make.
Well, that's his second personal foul and the fourth team foul on Hudson Catholic. Jameer Harris up top. Dishes inside. And a beautiful shot off the glass, kissed nicely by Manuel, Valdir Manuel, who had 16 points against St. Anthony. Rather against Rainey, not say I can't even read my own writing, Jim. Rainey, 16 points against Rainey in the state tournament.
Yeah, Valdir Manuel, outstanding player, young man who grew up in Angola. So that'll be the first foul on Quinterly.
And to the line, Jordan Walker hits the first. Walker, what a game he had against Linden earlier this year. 31 points in that game against the Tigers.
Listen, he's a baller. Dynamic player. He's really the spirit of this team. It's kind of a laid-back bunch. If you ask head coach Chris Gervais, Jordan Walker, anything but laid back. He wants to up the tempo in practice, in the locker room, and of course, on game day.
Celtics by 3, 16-13, and there is a steal in the corner. Nicely done there by Jabir Harris.
Yeah, Harris, quick hands in the passing lanes.
Harris pops a 3. Jabir Harris from downtown.
Hey, why not, Lou? You make the steal, it gives you the green light, no? And Harris now his third 3 of the first quarter.
And the Celtics back up by 6. It's 19-13. Final middle of play of the first quarter. You're down to 35 seconds. And another 3 taken by Muhammad. That dances around the rim, and Richards pulls down the rebound.
Yeah, Richards at about the 11-foot mark on that rebound.
Jordan Walker behind the back dribble. Can't hit the jumper. 20 seconds remaining in the period. And a steal by Walker, who lays it up and in.
Lightning quickness on Jordy Walker.
It's an 8-point Patrick School lead. Lewis King has it stripped away on the baseline. And what a run this has been by the Celtics since Hudson Catholic made that run to get back in the game.
Yeah, 9-0 run. Hudson Catholic led 13-12. Right back they come.
And Walker takes a 3 from way downtown. And the first quarter comes to an end. Well, what a run by the Celtics. They build up an 8-point lead. And here at the Pine Belt Arena in Toms River, the Patrick School looking for their first title since 2009. They're up by 8 after 1. Patrick School 21, Hudson Catholic 13 on News 12 Varsity.
Chopper Russo's line. How may I help you? Good morning, Daddy. Are we ready to sell some more homes today? There goes New Jersey's first and only master certified negotiation expert. I love Low Main. If you ever need help selling a house, call my daddy. He's the one realtor you need to have. And at 3 p.m., you have a closing at the attorney's office. Buying or selling a home, you need Chopper. My daddy works like a dog, so I don't have to.
I'm Casey Messer. Stay tuned to All Access exclusively here on Channel 14, and you'll catch a sneak preview of the most talked about new release movies on demand from Optimum. Many of which are available the same day they're released on DVD, and many offered with 2-day rentals. While you're here, we'll show you what's hot to watch on TV tonight, as well as exciting tips and answers about all your Optimum services. For even more previews, tune to Reels on Channel 177 for original shows and movies.
Well, it's a huge night of championship basketball here in Toms River. Of course, the Patrick School leading here 21-13, but the non-public A championship coming up next as well. Don Bosco going up against St. Augustine. You might remember last year the Hermits won by over 30 points over the Ironmen. And you can bet the Ironmen of Don Bosco Prep have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, Jim, coming into this game.
It's Super Saturday, Lou, right here on News 12 Varsity. St. Augustine, the Hermits, looking to defend their title. Don Bosco, back-to-back non-public A North champs. What a run for Coach Kevin DeVirio and the Ironmen. But they have come here seeking revenge, Lou. They trailed by 26 points at the half last year, and the Hermits were just dunking on them. So they are coming back looking for redemption. It's all coming up tonight right here on News 12 Varsity.
Meanwhile, the Patrick School playing at a furious pace here in this first half. They have an 8-point lead, and they'll go to the line here. Marcus McClary.
Well, Chris Gervais' team jumped out 10-0. Then you saw Nick Marinello's bunch score the next 11, but they really settled the game in the final 2.5, 3 minutes of that first quarter, did the Celtics. Coach Gervais, Lou, he was very relaxed today. You know, this is a 5 o'clock start here down in Toms River. I gave him a call about 10:30 this morning. He told me he was in the grocery store. I just was checking in on him, get a little fresh information. Says he's doing a little shopping for the fellas here to get him some snacks for the ride down. But I like to hear that. What a job he's done since taking over for Kevin Boyle. Of course, Boyle went down to Montverde in that powerhouse in Florida. But remember, Chris Gervais has been at St. Pat's for 20 years. He was the dean of discipline back in the days when Kyrie Irving was roaming the sidelines. He's now the principal and the head basketball coach. And what a figure he is there. The perfect balance of the teacher, the disciplinarian, most importantly, a shaper and molder of young men.
Well, his team has a 9-point lead, 22-13, 7 minutes, 15 seconds remaining first half. Inside, beautiful position there for Manuel, who puts it in off the glass.
Great position there by Vlad. Can't give him that kind of position. He's one of their best post players, very crafty. He can use both hands. They really love what he can do down there.
Well, the Celtics with an 11-point lead. It's 24-13. Hudson Catholic needs a hoop. Quinterly flips it outside. Muhammad in and out. Tapped up by Lewis King, and he is fouled as he goes down to the floor.
Good job of crashing the boards there by Lewis King. Lewis King had a lot of questions to answer when he came over from Pope John, and he really has in the last 6-7 weeks of the season, playing with a lot of heart and fire and tension. Look at that. That's getting after it, Lou, in a state final by sweet Lewis King, the 6'8 junior forward.
Meanwhile, Nick Richards, highway robbery, just took the ball away from Lewis King in the paint.
Well, Richards grew up in Kingston, Jamaica, and he wasn't a basketball player. He played volleyball, he played soccer, so he's got that all-around athletic base. You know, he's really a newcomer to this game, about 4 or 5 years playing basketball. But his number one asset was Coach Calipari, Kentucky loved how quickly he gets off the floor.
Quinterly with a brilliant move on the baseline, and Hudson Catholic really needed that. They're down by 9.
Yeah, the floor general. He knows his team desperately needed a bucket. He gave it to him there.
Here's Harris in the corner. Quinterly all over him. They give it to Manuel. Oh, Nick Richards slams it through.
What passing big to big. Manuel to Richards. He gets in that deep. It is good night, Irene.
Quinterly, top of the key. The 11-point lead for the Celtics. And a foul outside. Called on the Patrick School. That'll be their third team foul.
Just look at the look here by Manuel. Drops it off to his teammate, and Richards. I mean, he's so comfortable around the rim. I mean, I don't know how many dunks he has this year. Maybe 100, Lou. I mean, come on now. Really, add them up if you watch him play. It's a big part of his game. Hold on, folks.
Manuel.
Travel.
Traveling is the call, yes. Turnover on the Celtics.
And Manuel just trying to get his steps right before the big finish. No problem, young fella. First year here at the Elizabeth School. Grew up in Angola. And had really done a nice job this year. 6'6". He'll be back next year for his senior year.
He already has offers from Seton Hall and Temple. I'm sure there'll be more coming. No question. Here's Quinterly. Flips it outside. And another foul. Another hand check foul on the Celtics. And they'll call that, I believe, on Luther Muhammad. Nope. Actually, they call that on Bull Zhang outside, so it's a Zhang on the foul. He's second. And here is Muhammad, who hands it off to Quinterly. Quinterly gets around the defender, and the block underneath on the baseline.
Quinterly just does a wonderful job of changing speeds. He'll lull the defense into setting their feet, and then he'll explode by you. You know, you're at Rutgers, you're taking on St. Anthony's, the game is close. He had 3 fouls in the first half. He spent most of the second quarter on the bench, and Javon Quinterly came out in that third quarter, Lou, and he started attacking the rim with regularity. He brought the crowd to its feet at the rack in that non-public B final, and Nick Marinello knew that his floor general, his leader, was making a statement in that game. They would build up a lead. They would never give back to the Friars of St. Anthony's. And it was really a ding-dong, the witch is dead moment for Hudson Catholic. They had finally gotten over the hump and beaten the Friars of St. Anthony's, who they had not beaten since 1975 in the Hudson County tournament. They had a couple players on that team you might have heard of. Jim Spinarkle, Michael Corin, legendary guys. Both reached out to Nick Marinello this week, along with a lot of the old Hawks, to congratulate him on the win.
Jameer Harris buries a 3.
His 4th 3 of the first half. Harris is locked in.
He's got 12 points for the Celtics, and they're up 29-16.
Lou, Jordan Walker has 6 assists in the first half. And, you know, that's just, you love that between number 2 and number 4 for the Patrick School. Jameer Harris is knocking down the open shot, because what's Jordan Walker doing as the point guard's point guard? He's driving and kicking and giving Harris that look. And they are making the Hawks pay for it dearly. They have now opened up a 13-point lead.
Here's King to Quinterly. He flips it in the corner. Muhammad fakes the drive, pulls it back outside, and then throws it away on the out-of-bounds line, so it'll go back to Hudson Catholic.
You know, it's amazing, Lou. Nick Richards goes to the bench, and you think, okay, we can penetrate now, until you look down there and you see these guys waiting for you. How'd you like to bring a guy like this, Bula Zhang, off the bench at 6'10", and standing right next to him is another guy at 6'10"? I mean, come on. Coca and a Zhang both going to Tulane next year.
Muhammad trying to burrow through 2 defenders, and the ball knocked away at midcourt, still on the ground, picked up by the Celtics, and let's see what the call is. Looks like a held ball.
Gotta love a guy 7 feet tall getting on the floor like Coca.
So Harris to trigger in, and he looks good. Defense here by Hudson Catholic. Al-Amir Dawes brings it across. Another Division I type player for the Celtics. Spinning and twisting inside was Coca. And the turnover against the Celtics. It's 29-16, Patrick School. 3.5 remaining, second quarter.
Good minutes there. Good minutes by boy Coca. Coca, what a rise. As a freshman, he was on the JV. Really didn't see the floor the last 2 years. Outstanding job as a senior. Earned himself a scholarship to Tulane.
Good ball movement by the Hawks, and Quinterly hits the 3.
Hey, it's a feast or famine kind of shot. You're shooting a 30-footer, but boy, do they need it. Cuts the lead to 10.
29-19, less than 3 minutes remaining. Here's the handoff to Walker, who tries to dish it back to Richards on the baseline, but too hot to handle for Nick Richards, and Hudson Catholic gets it back.
Hey, you'll take it though, Lou. It was a little behind Richards, but Jordan Walker, you could just see him. Head on a swivel, his energy is infectious, getting his teammates involved. You know, Walker holds all the cards for his college career too. I mentioned Fred Hill is in the building. Seton Hall loves him. LSU, Oklahoma State, a lot of them.
Jump shot, good. A 3-pointer rattles in. Lewis King with that good shooter's touch.
He does. He's got such a soft touch. Second 3 of the game for King. And if you're Hudson Catholic, You like counting by threes right now, Lou, because they're in a hole, but those threes can dig yourself out in a hurry. You look up now, Lou, 2 minutes and 18 seconds. It's a huge 2:18 for Nick Marinello's Hawks. You know, you got it down to 7 now. You'd love to go into the locker room with it somewhere around here. 7, 6, 5, maybe 8. What you don't want to see is the Patrick School go on a little, 7-2 run here, and you go back down double digits into the break.
Foul was on Danny Rodriguez, and Nick Richards at the line. And it's a 1-and-1. He hits the first. Nice soft touch for the big guy. Nick Richards, as we mentioned earlier, committed to Kentucky. Had just a monster game against Roselle Catholic. 28 points, 16 rebounds.
Yeah, I mentioned that game against Archbishop Malloy. It was at Roselle Catholic on a Sunday night. Very good performance. Guess who was in the building that night? John Calipari. Gotta love it. Calipari stuck around, had a nice conversation with his soon-to-be Wildcat.
Delgado launches a three-pointer that doesn't go. It's a 9-point lead for the Celtics, 31-22. 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Here's Richards backing in, draws 2 defenders, puts it up and in, and the foul. What a hook shot by Nick Richards.
He's a handful. At that size, he can be patient, and you could just see all the hours in the gym coming together. Patiently working his dribble here, knows he can go up over the top. If you ask Chris Gervais about Nick Richards' growth in the post, he'll point to his 2 assistant coaches, Mike Rice and Todd Decker. They both done a great job in working with him. You think about having a coach like that, Mike Rice, former coach of Rutgers. You see Rice sitting right next to Coach Gervais. And what an asset to have him on that staff. Wonderful staff at the Patrick School.
I'm sure it's a very happy day so far for Mike Rice. Of course, his daughter Katie plays on Red Bank Catholic, and they won the non-public A championship early today.
Rice is off to a huge start. Katie had 20 points in that victory. She led all scorers as RBC. All hail to South Jersey again in girls basketball. They beat the Blue Eagles of IHA.
And the block on the baseline. Here's Quinterly. Dishes in the corner. Jump shot for 3. Hudson Catholic converts on the fast break. They hit a 3.
It's keeping them in the game, Lou. It is keeping them in the game.
Jonathan Delgado buries it, and it's an 8-point game, 33-25.
The Delgado contingent is yelling, "Go, Johnny, go!"
Nice defensive play there by Precious Aikadashi. Nice play. And then on the baseline, stepping, I believe, on the baseline was Delgado. .106 remaining first half. Patrick School up by 8, 33-25.
Nick Marinello, Lou, he was happy with the win over St. Anthony's, but they wasn't satisfied. Oh, baby.
Nick
Just
Richards,
not much you could do.
Yeah, he just skies over everyone else and just pops it in off the glass.
Sometimes guys like me like to say somebody plays above the rim. He plays above the rim.
Yes, he does. It's a 10-point lead for the Celtics. 35-25, 40 seconds remaining here in this first half.
So Richards gets a bucket, runs down 94 feet, and gets a block. And then he alters the putback. Still Hudson Catholic ball. Big possession here for the Hawks. They trail by 10.
Trying to cut the deficit to single digits. Beautiful drive. And Richards went up and grabbed the ball. Some of the Hudson Catholic fans thought that might have been goaltending.
Very close. If that ball was inside the cylinder.
.15 seconds remaining. Let's see if the Celtics hold for the last shot of the first half.
Walker time.
Long jump shot outside, and he's fouled from beyond the arc.
That is just frustrating for Hudson Catholic. You get a long three, just what you want if you're Nick, contested. But the foul will go against his Hawks, and now Jordy Walker will get 3 free throws here to basically close out the first half.
So Walker shoots 3, the first, good. He'll get 2 more. It's 5 points here in this first half for Jordan Walker. Averaging 11.5 points per game. And his second, no good. And here's free throw number 3. Good. It's 2 of 3. 12-point game at the buzzer. That's off the mark. And the Patrick School heads to the locker room with a 12-point lead. Really, that first half, just a half of runs, Jimmy. Both teams making runs at each other. And the Patrick School goes in with a 12-point advantage. Our score at halftime in the non-public P Championship. Patrick School 37, Hudson Catholic 25.
Remember this?
Yes. Another bad report card.
I hate school.
We grounded you, got tutors.
Think I want to fail?
That was us 20 years ago. Do you remember the fights?
Yes. Then we went to Huntington.
Things really turned around for you. Now your son really needs it.
You're right, Mom.
When your child is struggling in school, no matter what his or her age, Huntington can help. Get help now. Call 1-800-CAN-LEARN and save $100. 1-800-CAN-LEARN.
Hi, I'm John Leguizamo, Optimum customer.
And I'm John Leguizamo, John's favorite content.
Oh, I do love me some Leguizamo.
Me too. And with the Optimum app, John Leguizamo goes wherever you go.
The Optimum app turns your device into a TV, so you can watch right here. Or voice search Leguizamo here. Hey, search Leguizamo. John! Ha! Amazing, John. I could kiss you. Me too, but things could get a little weird. I don't know. I'm in. Optimum, let's connect more.
On March 12th, starting at 11 a.m., watch the best of Long Island high school basketball battle for the right to be called champions. Live on Channel 14. This doubleheader begins at 11 a.m. with the Class A Finals, followed by the Class AA Finals at 1:30 p.m. Watch the best of Long Island high school basketball live on the big screen on Optimum Channel, Channel 14.
I should probably inform you of my breakage policy.
Breakage policy?
Yeah, we don't have one.
Open the truck.
Eesh. Rich, I hate to have to do this in front of you, but I think I'm gonna have to fire these girls.
Welcome back to Tom's River, the Patrick School with a 37-25 halftime lead over Hudson Catholic. Welcome to halftime. I'm Nick Medanis alongside News 12 Varsity reporter Mike Kinney. So, Mike, it's a double-digit deficit for Hudson Catholic within striking distance going into the second half, or what?
It's going to be very tough. You know, the striking distance, I think, would have been if Hudson Catholic was able to keep into about 5 or so. But when you're talking about 5 possessions, 4 possessions going into that second half, I think the second half was Patrick's advantage anyway with its depth and its size.
Hudson Catholic did do a decent job of surviving that initial surge from the Patrick School, 10-0 coming out of the gate. But Patrick School just keeps coming at you with their size, their speed, their depth.
You know, Patrick School showed so much when Hudson Catholic came back, took the lead actually briefly. Very impressive, like you said, Hudson Catholic being able to weather that a little bit and take that lead. But once they did that, all of a sudden, you see now the interior of Pats. Nick Richards got very active inside. The size off the bench with Buak Koko coming off the bench, you know, a 7-footer. You bring that kind of size off the bench, and Jordan Walker gets active. He gets into the lane. He gets fouled. All of a sudden now, that deficit by Pats is a 5-point lead. That's trouble for Hudson Catholic to keep playing catch-up.
Pats generally during the season pretty balanced scoring-wise. Jameer Harris leads them here in the first half with 12 points. Nick Richards, 10 points. Harris, though, from a guard perspective, has been the catalyst for much of the season, Mike, and he's doing that again today.
You know, and especially now, Nick, early in the season, Jameer Harris was such a key for them. His perimeter shooting was so strong. Did such a great job, and those inside guys obviously get him open for shots. But lately he struggled a little bit as his outside shot. He hits three in a fairly big arena like this, early like that, and one of his threes was a big part of them coming back when they reached that deficit. So if Jameer Harris is shooting the ball well, that's a great sign for Pats.
Richards is the guy that everyone's been talking about all season. On the boys' side, New Jersey's lone McDonald's All-American, a force inside, and he had his moments today here in the first half so far.
He sure did. Hey, 10 points in the first half. If he's double digits and he's already about 5 or 6 rebounds, if he's active in the lane and he's putting the ball up and scoring, he feels good about himself. And believe me, if Nick Richards feels good about himself, the rest of the Celtics feel pretty good too.
What about the emotional toll? You mentioned it earlier, Mike. For Hudson Catholic coming off this victory over St. Anthony's and now trying to take home their first state title in some 41 years.
Yeah.
Do they have enough here to make a run in the second half?
You know, that's a lot. I think the team expressed that they were ready, that the St. Anthony game was not going to get to them very much, that they were prepared to play Pats. But you know what? I've been doing this many, many years. And when a team in the sectional final wins such a monumental game like that, believe that when Hudson Catholic beats St. Anthony, that's monumental. Some point there's got to be decompression, and you know what? There just isn't enough time to come back, have a couple strong practices, and then play in that final. It's a quick turnover, and that's in Pat's favor, not in Hudson Catholic's favor.
This just the first of 2 games here tonight on News 12 Varsity. The second, Don Bosco Prep versus St. Augustine. We will preview that matchup coming up on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Starting at 11 a.m., watch the best of Long Island high school basketball battle for the right to be called champions. Live on Channel 14. This doubleheader begins at 11 a.m. with the Class A Finals, followed by the Class AA Finals at 1:30 p.m. Watch the best of Long Island high school basketball live on the big screen on Optimum Channel, Channel 14.
Optimum serves up the finest fare in TV and movies every month. And Optimum Channel helps you decide what you want. It gives you bite-sized samples of movies on demand through shows like All Access. Or consider What's On, a delicious buffet of when and where to find the freshest shows on TV. While you're watching, enjoy a side of tips and tricks about your Optimum services. Tune to Channel 14 for some delicious know-how right from your TV. Optimum. Let's connect more.
The Patrick School halfway to being the first team in New Jersey to punch a ticket to the Tournament of Champions. They lead Hudson Catholic 37-25. Coming up after this game, St. Augustine and Don Bosco Prep, Mike Kinney, in a rematch of last year's final on this same very day.
Yeah, it's a rematch. I think this game's going to go a little differently. I'll tell you what, last year we were talking about, just in the first segment, we were talking about how it's tough to win such a huge sectional game and then come back in the final and beat a team, especially against a good veteran team. Don Bosco last year had won their section, North Jersey, non-public A last year for the first time in 46 years. Then they had to come in against a very good, very veteran St. Augustine team, and they just weren't ready. And they got blitzkrieged in that game. Bosco now is a veteran team. They're ready to play.
St. Augustine, historically a power in South Jersey. Don Bosco, everybody knows for football, now trying to make a name for themselves here on the basketball court. Getting this point, Mike, getting here has taken a big step toward that. Would you say that?
There's no doubt about it. And you know what's funny? Marcellus Earlington, who's one of the best football players in the state of New Jersey, certainly one of the best juniors for Don Bosco. He's the one who keeps reminding us that, you know what, we play some pretty good basketball here at Bosco too. You know, he's a power forward for Bosco. Fantastic. He's the leading scorer. He's the glue of the team game in and game out. But he's also one of the top defensive ends in America. But he keeps saying, we have great basketball here at Bosco, and we want to remind everybody this is not just a football school.
St. Augustine is led by big man Justin Mutz, who has had success against Don Bosco in last year's game, 21 points. Can Don Bosco stop or contain Mutz this season?
I think they can, and I tell you what, one of the problems with containing Mutz last year was Marcellus Earlington was only a sophomore. and he came off the bench and played well. Another thing, though, was Jameer Nelson for St. Augustine, who now had a great rookie season at American University. He was the offensive spark for St. Augustine last year, no question about it. He scored 30 in that game. His ability to get into the lane, his ability to create his own jump shot was what created many shots for Justin Mutz. Justin Mutz played one of the games of his career last year against Bosco. And although he's having a very good season, he's averaging almost 14 a game, Bosco was going to be more prepared to defend him. And I don't know if Justin Mutz is going to have that kind of explosive game as he did last year, because Bosco's older, they're bigger, they're more veteran.
Ron Harper, a player to watch for the Ironmen in that second game coming up. Mike Kinney, thank you very much. The second half of this game is coming your way in just a few minutes. The Patrick School with a 37-25 lead.
On March 12th, starting at 11 a.m., watch the best of Long Island high school basketball battle for the right to be called champions. Live on Channel 14. This doubleheader begins at 11 a.m. with the Class A Finals, followed by the Class AA Finals at 1:30 p.m. Watch the best of Long Island high school basketball live on the big screen on Optimum Channel, Channel 14.
Speed's what we need. We need greasy, fast speed.
Can't you go any faster?
Can I go any faster?
I want it to be faster.
Faster.
Faster!
Amazing.
Welcome back to the Pine Belt Arena. Here at halftime, the Patrick School leading 37-25, and the Celtics, the number one ranked team in our tri-state poll, with a tremendous run at the tail end of that second quarter to build a 12-point lead here against 8th-ranked Hudson Catholic.
Yeah, we said when that lead was 7 for Hudson Catholic, it was going to be important, but still, 16 minutes of basketball left, Amanda.
Well, Jimmy, when I spoke to both coaches at the half, Coach Chavigny says, we really need to watch out for those big three. He alluded to the big three that we've been talking about all game long. For Hudson Catholic, they're not going to be able to run them out of the gym. And even though the Patrick School has been able to jump out to early leads, they really need to limit their turnovers, and they can't be giving away unforced turnovers. Now, on the other side for the Hawks, 12 turnovers for them as well. So turnovers really is the name of the game here. Coach Marinello said that was very uncharacteristic of them. They need to do a better job getting in that half-court set. When they're in that half-court set, that's when they're most effective. Well, the Patrick School shooting 54% in that first half, and a good start for Hudson Catholic here in half number 2 as Quinterly drives and lays it in.
Louis, they need more twos in the second half, does Hudson Catholic. The good news was they made 6 threes in the first half. The bad news was it was 18 of their 25 points. With Nick Richards on the inside, you're going to be limited on what you could do with Richards and Coca and Zhang. You got to get inside sometimes if you're Mohammed and the Hawks, but they got to score some points in transition. That is the name of their game in Hudson County for Hudson Catholic. Long way to go, but they got a steep hill to climb.
It's a 10-point lead for the Patrick School. They're up 39-29, and traveling is the call on Jameer Harris.
Jameer Harris, what a first half for him, Lou. 4 for 4 from 3 points. Remember, you go back a couple of games ago against Ranney, he was 0 for 12 in that game, 0 for 12, but you love the mentality of a baller, a shooter. They just keep coming. And Harris, perfecto in the first half from behind the three-point line.
Nice look inside by the Hawks, and a foul called on the Celtics. That'll be their first team foul here in the second half.
Nick Marinello, Lou, Verona High School, 1985. We mentioned at Bloomfield Tech. First coach to take a Group 1 team to the TOC final. Little Bloomfield Tech up against Bob Hurley and the Friars. They came up short in that one. But when you think about the TOC final, first you got to get through your bracket, and then you got to beat all those champions in the TOC. You love what New Jersey does. They play down to one champion. No matter the size of your school, no matter if it's public or non-public, they play down to one champion. Last man standing. the defending champs in this. St. Anthony's the Friars last year 32-0.
Jump shot from the corner is good.
Oh, baby.
Jamir Harris.
5 for 5 now from 3. What a story he is writing in this non-public B final.
Here's Quinterly, gives to Muhammad. Muhammad dishes inside, knocked away and stolen by Jamir Harris. Up ahead, McClary, beautiful move, puts it up, can't connect, and Hudson Catholic back the other way. Quinterly takes it right down the lane. And what's the call?
It'll stay with Quinterly and the Hawks. Quinterly, I mentioned Villanova offered last summer, the summer he was as a rising junior.
Lewis King with a beautiful fadeaway jumper.
Also offering Quinterly, Virginia, Stanford, Arizona, Seton Hall, and Kansas. Lewis King, Lou, what a beautiful soft touch. He gets a lot of rolls, and that's because he's got that nice, smooth release.
And if the call goes against the Celtics, it'll be an offensive foul.
Yeah, Vladimir Manuel can't believe that. Thought he had a good seal-off on Lewis King, but he got called for the hook. But you like the way these big men work together. Big to big, high entry passes, low bounce pass right there. It's just good basketball IQ, you see. Well-coached team.
Luther Muhammad at the top of the key, gives to Quinterly. Quinterly dribbles in, flips outside. Muhammad jump shot off the back rim, doesn't go. Rebound, King, nice. Offensive play on the baseline, but cannot score. And Jordan Walker the other way. It's an 11-point lead for the Celtics. They're up 42-31 with 5:02 remaining here in this third quarter. Inside the turnaround, and that's Manuel. Got great position down low.
Very patient. Now 7 assists for Walker. Make it 8. Orlando telling me courtside, make it 8. 8 assists, Lou, in a state final. That's what you want out of your point guard when you got all that size along the baseline.
Quinterly drives in, can't connect. Rebound underneath, off the glass, and Gazzoni unable to put it back. 3-point shot at the other end, Jordan Walker, and a timeout. Well, wait a minute now. Richards getting involved in something in the corner.
What a dagger there, though, by Jordan Walker, right? Gets the assist, then he comes down off the miss. You're disappointed if you're Hudson Catholic, and then Walker drills a 3. Now we're going to have a technical foul called on Richards.
It's 47-31. The Celtics by 16. Looks like a double technical. So the double technical foul on Richards and King, I believe.
You don't see Nick Richards get upset like that often. He's a mild-mannered kid. You know, he's sort of Jamaican calm, Lou. You know what I mean? There isn't a lot that gets him upset. So something went on there to light Nick Richards up, because that is really out of character for him. He's got great temperament. You can see he's still upset over there. Now, you just don't see this out of him. It's part of the beauty of him. Laid-back guy, but plays very hard now in the last month.
Oh, alley-oop. Beautiful execution by the Hawks as Lewis King throws it down.
Gotta love the Hawks. Sensing the void with Richards on the bench, they go right to the alley-oop to Lewis King. Skywalking King at 6'8".
And it's 47-33, Celtics on top. Manuel trying to maneuver inside. The turnaround is good. Gotta love the touch on the big guy, Manuel. At the other end, The Celtics strip it away. Up ahead, it goes to Jordan Walker. Walker spinning and twisting, flips it outside. Three-point shot off the rim, no. And here comes Quinterly. End-to-end action. Quinterly drives, scoring the basket, and the foul.
That's Jay basketball right there. Just 6'1", but it does a great job of sensing the defense that's retreating, backpedaling, and attacks the rim. And the very rare transition basket for Hudson Catholic in this game. Look at the explosion to the left hand. Finishes beautifully with both hands. Javon Quinterly went over 1,000 points this year as a junior. Before it's over here, he'll be a 4-year starter. Started right out of the chute as a freshman. Hudson Catholic has been really motivated by the early exit they had last year at the hands of St. Joe's Montvale in the non-public B North quarterfinals. It was in their own gym. Nobody saw it coming, but Mike Doherty's Green Knights, after winning the Bergen Jamboree, got on quite a roll, and that was an early exit for Hudson Catholic.
Well, 3 minutes and 16 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. And the Patrick School up 49-36. Celtics looking to knock off Hudson Catholic for the second time this year. They played back on December 18th in the City of Palms Classic. Patrick School winning by 65-53 in that one.
Yeah, a long time ago. You see the Hudson Catholic bench. That's Kenny P right there with his hands on his hip. Kenny's been, listen, he's been with Nick Marinello 20 years. Just a great assistant coach, Kenny Pignatello. And Nick Marinello, you know, just great synergy in the locker room, on the court, off the court. What a great guy. Kenny P, Derek Mercer, Joey Forenza, Stevie Oxer, the Marines, Stevie A. But Nick Marinello, you know, you think about the Bloomfield Tech days and the great players they had over there. Courtney Nelson, Rashawn Dwight, Wesley the Jet Jenkins, Kasim Drummond, and of course, the greatest of all time, arguably, Deshaun Butler. What teams, what a time for Nick Marinello, winning 4 state titles for Bloomfield Tech.
A tremendous legacy there at Bloomfield Tech, and now trying to do the same thing here at Hudson Catholic. Fadeaway jumper for Jordan Walker does not go, and here come the Hawks.
Looked like he might have got away with a backcourt there. No call here, ahead of the pack.
Yeah.
Jordan Walker, Lou. You know, listen, sometimes you look at a guy and say, what are his stats? Sometimes you just got to see a guy play to see how many ways he impacts the game. That's Jordan Walker. That'll be a travel now as they go to the bench for Precious.
So the Celtics up 51-36.
Precious Ikadiash into the game now, the junior for Nick Marinello. As they're searching now, the lead has escalated. It's up to 16 points now. Make it 15.
Here's Manuel outside. Patrick School, non-public B South champs, defeating Roselle Catholic 71-62 in that championship game. And Celtics get a fresh possession. Driving in, Jordan Walker flips it outside. Walker spinning, and it's knocked away by Hudson Catholic. Restolen by Boulajang.
They're so long. It's so hard to throw these passes over the top of the D. Oh!
Jameer Harris launches a 3.
He is putting on a show in Toms River. The Minnesota-bound super senior Jameer Harris, 6 trifectas in the state final.
And Quinterly tries to answer but cannot. And here comes Harris. Harris drills that pass inside but throws it away. Hey, Jim, I want to get back to the win over Roselle Catholic for the Patrick School, 71-62. They had been eliminated by Roselle Catholic 3 of the last 4 years. So you know that was a sweet victory for the Celtics to get that championship.
Yeah, what a job Dave Boffa has done in the last 4 or 5 years, building Roselle Catholic into a powerhouse. You know, for so many years, Lou, it was St. Pat's and St. Anthony's, you know, that was it. And then Roselle Catholic entered the fray, and it really changed the dynamic of Jersey basketball. Kevin Boyle goes down to Florida for the Sunshine and Montverde. Chris Travane is stuck around. Mike Rice came on board, and the Patrick School became the Celtics once again.
And of course, this year the complexion changed again with Hudson Catholic knocking off St. Anthony to win the non-public B North title. So the Hawks becoming a major player as well in this non-public B tournament.
And they're not going anywhere, because when you think about the core of this team, you saw Luther Muhammad, Javon Quinterly, Lewis King. Guess what they're not, Lou? They're not seniors. They're all coming back next year.
Celtics inbound. They are up by 18. It's 54-36 with 1:06 remaining.
Tough team to come back on. They're so long, they're so deep. You don't get any cheapies.
Oh, what a move underneath, but unable to score. Lewis King. And the Celtics come back the other way. Here's Dawes outside, and he gives to Jordan Walker.
Yeah, Alamir Dawes, part of the future. The sophomore, number 33, by way of Newark, New Jersey.
And driving in, the pass on the baseline, and we'll have another held ball as players push at each other.
You're up 18 points. So Coach Marinello, you know, within all the theatrics, you look up now, you're basically 39 seconds from going to a fourth quarter. Down big, 18.
There's a technical foul called on Valdir Manuel. And to the line goes Luther Muhammad. And his free throw, good.
Muhammad, so much energy and life he puts into this program. You know, he's got that motor. I think he's got the best motor in the tri-state on the basketball scene, Luther Muhammad. You know, anytime you watch number 11 play, he's like the road runner up and down the floor. Now, he has brought such toughness to Hudson Catholic's program, and it's the reason why they're here today on Super Saturday in Toms River. Relentless worker. He brings it every day. What a season for Luther, the junior guard.
So here's Quinterly. He angles right side and flips it up top to Dezzoni. And now they bring it back to Lewis King, who pulls up for the short jumper on the foul line, can't hit. Fights for that rebound and dishes it back outside. Dezzoni drills it into the corner. Quinterly again puts up the jumper. It doesn't go.
Great hustle, though, by Precious. Precious Ikediash going in amongst the big boys, the 6'7" junior. Young man out of Nigeria, just a raw athletic talent. And he's done a good job with his physical defensive presence. Hey, Hudson Catholic, they're going to fight to the finish here. There's still time on the clock for them.
6 seconds remaining. Down to 3, 2, 1. At the buzzer. Shot is short by Jameer Harris. And the third quarter comes to an end. As we go to the fourth quarter in the non-public B championship game, the Celtics with a 54-37 lead, looking to win their first state championship since 2009, and they are up big here on News 12 Varsity.
Remember this?
Yes.
Another bad report card.
I hate school.
We grounded you, got tutors.
You think I want to fail?
That was us 20 years ago. Do you remember the fight?
Yes. Then we went to Huntington.
Things really turned around for you. Now your son really needs it.
You're right, Mom.
When your child is struggling in school, no matter what his or her age, Huntington can help. Get help now. Call 1-800-CAN-LEARN and save $100. 1-800-CAN-LEARN.
This is the community you'll find at Paramus Catholic High School,
where students are enthusiastic and feel welcomed, yet also challenged. Where learning takes priority and the life of the spirit is nurtured. Where students are surrounded by the beauty of the campus, as well as the latest technologies and state-of-the-art facilities. A sense of purpose sets the tone at Paramus Catholic, a culture of clear expectations grounded in authentic faith and academic excellence. Paramus Catholic, the opportunities of a larger school with the personal attention of a smaller school.
Well, we've got a great game coming up next. St. Augustine, the Hermits, 27-2, taking on the Ironmen of Don Bosco Prep, 27-1 for the non-public A state championship.
Yeah, it's a rematch, Lou, of last year's game. Bosco's only lost one game this year to Bergen Catholic. They avenged that loss in the North Final. The Hermits of St. Augustine looking to defend their non-public A title. They came here last year, put on a show against Bosco. They would then lose to Linden in the TOC. Linden knocked out St. Augustine in the TOC a year ago. What a victory it was for Coach Colicchio and his Tigers.
So the fourth quarter begins, and the Celtics with the basketball. They're up 54-37. Patrick School, two-time defending Union County champs, trying to win a state championship now. If they do win it, it would be their 14th in their basketball history and their 7th since the year 2000.
Well, you see the big man in the middle, Nick Richards. A couple weeks he'll play in the McDonald's All-American game. They've had a few of those before at the Patrick School. A moment ago, we saw Shaheen Holloway come through, but I mean, you think about Samuel Dallenberg, Al Harrington, Kyrie Irving. It's just amazing. Mike Gilchrist, the kid, Mike Gilchrist, and now Nick Richards will play in the McDonald's All-American game, and really has had a great finish to the season. Elevated his game. He's expanded his game. And he'll be the face of New Jersey in that McDonald's All-American game. Why not?
Well, what a legacy the Celtics have had throughout the years, as we said. The former St. Patrick's High School and now the Patrick School in Elizabeth. But all the same basketball history. And a jumper drilled from outside. Again, it's Jameer Harris.
Lou, he took a three at the end of the third quarter with the clock winding down, and it really screwed up his stat line because he was 6 for 6 at that moment and missed that one. Now he's 7 of 8. My goodness, Harris is putting on a trifecta display in the state final.
Way up top, Jordan Walker. And a foul called on Hudson Catholic inside.
Hudson Catholic foul, charge number 32, Danny Rodriguez.
They call it on Danny Rodriguez, and that's...
And Harris is just a leader's leader. You know, they start every day with the announcements at the Patrick School. Jameer Harris does those announcements. He's going to go to Minnesota. He told me he wants to study broadcast journalism. He's coming for your job, Lou.
Well, the way I sound tonight, I'm sure he could take it away pretty easily.
The way they're playing, he could come over here for the fourth quarter. I mean, they're in their groove. You know, Hudson Catholic, you're trading baskets with a team when you're down 16, 18, or 20. It's a tough road to hoe.
Meanwhile, Hudson Catholic playing for pride here in this fourth quarter, trying to make something happen. Here's Muhammad, launches a three, doesn't go. And for this Hudson Catholic team, Jimmy, a great accomplishment to get to this championship game. They want to continue to play well here now, finish the season on a strong note, and build towards next year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they've been the kings of Hudson County since taking over the reign after St. Peter's had their run with Coach Mike Kelly. They've won 6 straight Hudson County championships, 6 in a row for Coach Marinello. But Lou, they had to get over the big hump that was the Friars of St. Anthony's. They've done just that, which got them here to Toms River today.
Quinterly lays it in. And a quick timeout called by the Hawks.
And they're coming back. I mean, Javon Quinterly, has not decided where he's going to go to college. We've been through all the offers, but he's just a junior. They had an agenda to take their season further this year. They did just that. They've gotten a Super Saturday at Toms River, and they'll set the bar even higher. Hey, they're down 16 points here. There's 6:19 left. They have the firepower, but when you look at that bench, number 2, Lewis King, 6'8" forward, a junior. Luther Muhammad, number 11, a junior. Javon Quinterly, number 5, a junior. Number 23, Shaq Dazzoni, a junior. That's a pretty good theme for Coach Nick Marinello, who's done a wonderful job this year, as always, in building one of the best programs in the tri-state area. One great scene at the end of the game. Nick Marinello lost his father a few years ago. His father would be so proud of him to see what he's done. But as the game ended at the rack, with the victory in hand against St. Anthony's, he climbed the stands and gave his mother a big hug, man. I mean, if it didn't bring a tear to your eye, you don't have emotions, Lou. Great stuff to see Nick Marinello, a New Jersey basketball lifer, Amanda.
Well, you guys, in that last timeout, Coach Marinello was just saying to his team, don't let up, and they're really looking now to bring the pressure on defense. They're going to be trapping here all the time. You see right now the trap is coming hard. They're looking to trap them along the sidelines, and he says, be big, don't settle. We have to attack on defense. Defense leads to better offense.
It's empty the tank time now for the Hawks. They got to leave it all out there and try to go on a legendary run for the Roses.
And that's a good start. Here's Quinterly, dishes inside, and it's laid up and in by Luther Muhammad.
Great patience by Quinterly to draw the defender and drop it off for the easy one to Muhammad.
And the lead is 14. So the Hawks are whittling away.
Watch Javon Quinterly. You don't always got to go 1,000 miles an hour. Slows down, and just a beautiful drop off. Muhammad with the finish. So now they're over the limit now, so every foul will be free throws. The good news is for Hudson Catholic, that'll keep the clock in check. But they got to hope the Patrick School is not efficient from the line, which they are.
Well, Jordan Walker at the line, hits the first. He'll get one more. And the second, good as well. 16-point lead for the Celtics, 59-43. Here's Quinterly, top of the key. Dribbles in, has it deflected out of bounds. Still plenty of time, 5 minutes and 43 seconds remaining here in this fourth quarter. And Quinterly gets it in to Luther Muhammad, who flips it outside. Played here by Quinterly, and his jumper is good. Javon Quinterly hits for 3.
Always gets his. You think sometimes it's not going to be his night. These scorers, these born scorers, they just get theirs, Lou. And he never loses confidence in his game. It's so important if you want to play this game at a high level. You have to literally have no memory.
59-46, 13-point lead for the Celtics. Outside, McClary. He flips it up top here to Walker. And a whistle. Foul will be on Hudson. No, it's on the Patrick School.
Yeah, Richards is a little frustrated in the second. He had a great first half. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 blocks. Had the technical foul, got him off his game a little bit. He'll be fine, though. Listen, Coach Rice, Coach Trevanus, they'll keep telling Nick Richards, hey, you're always going to have bad things go on out there. So what? You just got to keep playing. They're going to talk to him right now. He'll be fine.
Lewis King up top, gives to Quinterly. Quinterly being played by Jordan Walker. defense here by the Celtics. Quinterly, head fake, and a reach-in foul. They'll call Jameer Harris.
There'll be free throws too now.
That's the 8th team foul on the Celtics. And it will send Quinterly to the line to shoot 1 and 1.
Yeah, you just want to be aggressive if you're the Patrick School with these guards defensively, because you know you got those bigs behind you. That's like great protection to have.
And his free throw, no good.
Tough one. Halfway down, popped out.
So still a 13-point advantage for the Patrick School. They're up 59-46. Here is Walker. Zhang back to Jordan Walker. And Muhammad comes out on him defensively. Walker spins away from a defender, keeps the dribble.
Look at Luther.
And throws it away.
Quinterly will get the steal, Lou, but Luther Muhammad will get the credit. It was Muhammad who had 5 steals against the Friars of St. Anthony in that non-public B North final. Just harassing the point guard into a turnover. Electric feet.
Well, Javon Quinterly goes to the line. These free throws are huge for the Hawks. And he misses again.
Yeah, that's frustrating for Quinterly. He knows he just left 4 points out there.
59-46. Celtics by 13. Zhang hands it off. Jordan Walker, and underneath is Zhang.
Yeah, just good basketball, right? Jordan Walker is approaching double-digit assists. He's not only approached it, he's gotten there. That's his 10th assist of the game. 10 assists, Lou, in a final.
61-46. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left.
I mean, you make so much about the bigs on the Patrick School, led by the McDonald's All-America, but how about their 2 guards, Jordan Walker and Jameer Harris, the J&J boys? Harris has 7 threes in the game. Jordan Walker has 10 assists.
And Walker walks it across, gives the ball to Zhang. Zhang feeds it back to Walker. Walker dribbling in traffic, and a foul called on the Hawks. And they call it on Lewis King. That's his 4th.
Hudson Catholic got to within 7 with 2.5 left in the half, Lou, and that was their moment. If they could have went on a little run there, got even lower, but the Patrick School, they went on the run and took a 12-point lead into the break. And Jordan Walker has brought the extra gear to the Pine Belt Arena. Moving and grooving.
And Walker hits the free throw. It's a 17-point lead, 63-46. That's 15 points. Now for Jordan Walker. Quinterly flips it outside. And Muhammad takes a step at the top of the key. Traveling is the call. Nick. Jordan Walker. And it's taken away, but retrieved. Look at the speed of Jameer Harris. Harris gives it across.
Good timeout by Coach Gervais. Harris had nowhere to go. And for Chris Gervais, Lou, you can smell it now. You know, it's an amazing thing. They had a loss to Linden this year, of course, Phil Filicchio, defending state champs. And then they came up against Linden in the Union County final, and they would win that game convincingly. And my question to Chris Gervais then was, okay, now you turn your attention to the postseason, the playoffs. and we spoke about the void, and he told me point blank, we recognize the void. It's been too long. I mean, your last title there is 2009. Kyrie Irving was a junior. They've not shied away from it. They haven't hidden from it. It's been a topic of conversation in their gym this week. It's time for us to get back the championship belt, really the heavyweight championship belt of New Jersey. Sure, they like being on top of all the polls, but the ring is the thing when you play for the Celtics of the Patrick School.
Again, should the Celtics hang on, they would win their 14th state championship, their 7th in the last 17 years.
And now they will set their sights on the TOC. Kevin Boyle won 5 of them. Chris Chavanis was right there alongside him. He's just done a great job. I mean, he's got that perfect temperament as a coach. He'll light you up one moment, pat you on the back the next. But he's got your attention at all times, no doubt about it. As the leader of the Celtics, by day as their principal, and by afternoon as their coach.
And a foul called on Quinterly, frustrated. He swats the basketball away.
It's been frustrating for Hudson Catholic going up against these Celtics today. You know, Hudson Catholic, they play at a certain vibe. You know, they turn you over, they make threes, they get out and run. That's their vibe. But schools like the Patrick School, they take away that vibe, your mojo, what you want to do with their length and their depth. Hey, look, they'll be disappointed the way this one finishes out. But it is a proud run for Coach Marinello and his boys. They slayed the giant, non-public B North. And next year, they'll come in as really one of the favorites, Lou, to defend that title and to win the whole thing.
Well, Jameer Harris, it's both free throws. He's got 23 points for the Celtics here tonight. What a game for Jameer Harris. 65-46, a minute 45 left here in the fourth quarter. And it's all but over except the final score as the Patrick School brings it across. An impressive showing for the Celtics here as they close in on their 27th win of the year. Minute 25 left. Harris flips it into the corner. Boulajang tracks it down there. And let's see, looks like a timeout called by the Patrick School.
Here's Coach Decker in the striped shirt, Coach Rice, Coach Chavanis, and this huddle's got to be fun now, right? I mean, you know what? You can break out the grease board all you want. Look at it, Coach Rice is giving out kisses to Jordan Walker, and Chavanis, he's got the grease board in his hand, but let's face it, the run for the Roses is complete. They're going to be the non-public B champ. They're going to move on to the top seed in the TOC. The Celtics Nation loves it, and they put the work in, and look, the one thing they did, Lou, they came into this game and they played well. Their bigs played well in the first half. Jameer Harris put on a show, and defensively, they made Hudson Catholic uncomfortable. Hudson Catholic had to rely on the three, and there's the top student in the school, the guy that starts every day with the announcements, the leader's leader, the Capitan, Jameer Harris, has delivered to the Celtic Nation. Boy, he's going to make his dad proud. His dad won this title at Elizabeth back in the day before he went on to be a great Rutgers football player. And now son, Jameer Harris. And oh, by the way, I hear through the grapevine his little brothers, starting with Jaquan, who will be a Celtic next year, have the goods. Jameer said, yeah, they work hard. They're good players, being a humble older brother. But Jaquan Harris, he'll be coming to Elizabeth next year.
Well, Jameer will long remember this championship game as he has lit it up here tonight. Here's a traveling violation called on the Celtics. Just a little over a minute remaining, and the Patrick School, our #1 team, really impressive victory against a terrific Hudson Catholic squad.
I mean, Lou, when you think about it, the last time they won this title, they had a pretty good junior guard. Plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He averaged 27 points a game in the NBA Finals last year. He made the game-winning shot in the NBA Finals. Kyrie Irving's junior year is the last time they won this title. The drought is over.
Here's Quinterly, no quitting him as he drives and lays it in. 65-48. Down to 20 seconds left.
Lou, you might want to send out a message to the TOC. Guess who's coming for dinner? The Celtics of the Patrick School. They are back.
And there's no question that they'll get the #1 seed in the TOC.
Hey, Coach Chavanis, they are our #1 team on the News 12 Varsity Top 20 for a reason. They proved it all season long. They proved it on Super Saturday at the Pine Belt. Jameer Lights Out Harris and the Celtics of the Patrick School are non-public B state champions once again.
An impressive victory for the Patrick School. The Celtics win it 65-48. Their 14th state championship in their great history and their 7th since the year 2000. So the Celtics win their first title since 2009. And for Hudson Catholic, certainly a tremendous season, getting to the championship game, their first appearance since 1976.
They come off a victory that'll last a lifetime, beating the Friars of St. Anthony's on Wednesday at the Rack for the first time since '75. But on this day, at the Jersey Shore, it's the young man who was born in Jamaica, Nick Richards. His coach, Chris Chavanis, was born in Jamaica. Large fries, Big Mac. The McDonald's All-American is a champ. Postgame is next.
Chopper Russo's line. How may I help you? Good morning, Daddy. Are we ready to sell some more homes today? There goes New Jersey's first and only master certified negotiation expert. I love Low Main. If you ever need help selling a house, call my daddy. He's the one realtor you need to have. And at 3 p.m., you have a closing at the attorney's office. Buying or selling a home, you need Chopper. My daddy works like a dog, so I don't have to.
Remember this?
Yes. Another bad report card.
I hate school.
We grounded you, got tutors.
You think I want to fail?
That was us 20 years ago. Do you remember the fights?
Yes. Then we went to Huntington.
Things really turned around for you. Now your son really needs it.
You're right, Mom.
When your child is struggling in school, no matter what his or her age, Huntington can help. Get help now. Call 1-800-CAN-LEARN and save $100. 1-800-CAN-LEARN.
Ah, yes, it is all over in non-public B. Our #1 team performed like a #1 team. The Patrick School is non-public B champs. Jameer Harris, 7 threes in the game. And Amanda, that is just what Minnesota is looking for out of this super senior.
You're so right, Jimmy. And Jameer, first of all, congratulations. You know, you've been part of this program for 5 years. 4 years you've been on varsity. What does this championship mean for you to be able to bring back a banner?
It means a lot. 4 years of hard work and dedication to the team and to the St. Pat's organization and family, and to finally get a state championship my senior year it means a lot to me.
You really put on a show from beyond the three-point arc. What was the key to your offensive success?
Just to be ready. I wanted to come into the game being ready to knock shots down for my teammates, and all the credit goes to my teammates for finding me, and I was glad I was able to oblige and knock the shots down, especially when we needed them. So.
Defensively, you were really able to limit the Hawks. They're always so great in transition. You guys were able to stop that. What was the key for you guys defensively?
Just staying together, constantly communicating and telling each other where spots to be at, and rotations, what rotations to make and things of that nature. We just wanted to communicate from the first quarter all the way into the fourth, and we were able to do that for the most part, and it resulted in us getting some big stops down the stretch.
Jameer, congratulations. I know your team's waiting for you to go celebrate.
Thank you.
Jimmy, Lou, that's it for non-public B. Back to you guys.
All right, Amanda, and of course the Celtics win the non-public B championship. Jimmy, they shot 55% from the field, 57% from three-point range, and 81% from the line.
Listen, if you're going to shoot nearly 60% from three with three guys over 6'10" down low, you're in business, baby, in a championship game. And the Patrick School, Lou, listen, great teams, whether it's an NCAA championship run, whether it's a run to the state finals, the NBA finals, when you play well late in the season, you continue to get better. That's what it's all about. The Patrick School, the final month of the season, looked great. The playoffs, they took it to the next level.
Well, coming up next, the non-public A championship as the Hermits of St. Augustine take on the Ironmen of Don Bosco Prep. And that's coming up next.
It's the South versus the North. The Hermits out of the South, they hold the hardware from a year ago. Don Bosco has never won a non-public A title. Opportunity knocks at the Jersey Shore for the Ironmen, number 3 in our top 20 poll. So we're only halfway home here on News 12 Varsity. Don't go anywhere. Bosco St. Augustine's is next. But on this day, they came out firing. Coach Marinello's boys would get down 10. Then Quinterly and company would score the next 11. And Hudson Catholic had a lead. But then enter the finishers of the Patrick School. Quinterly did everything he can, but in the end, too much size. Nick Richards along the baseline. 10 in the first half for Big Nick. They had a lead at the half. They would never give up. Jameer Harris, how about a guy taking 8 threes and making 7 of them? Manuel would chip in. Of course, we would see a couple flashes by Lewis King and company. But Jordan Walker with 10 assists. Jameer Harris with 23. The Patrick School is taking home the top prize in non-public B. They are state champs. The tournament champions is next. Stick around. Non-public A is straight ahead.